Hello everyone, welcome back. Let me just breathe for a second because before I even got to my cards this morning, something happened and I need to tell you about it because it is so connected to what we are reading on today. So I have this neighbor, right? And she is lovely, genuinely lovely, but she is also, and I say this with full love, the most connected person on the block. Like if something happens anywhere within a 3-street radius, she knows. She is the human version of a neighborhood app. And I ran into her this morning, just grabbing my mail, not even fully awake yet, still in my house slippers, and she grabs my arm and goes, "Oh my gosh, I heard the most amazing things about you the other day." And she proceeded to tell me that someone I hadn't spoken to in almost 2 years had apparently been talking me up at some gathering. Telling people about something I did years ago that I had honestly completely forgotten about. Like really going in about how I had shown up for them at a moment when nobody else did. And I just stood there in my driveway, in my slippers with my mail going, wow. Because here is the thing. I did not remember doing it as a big deal. It was just what I did. I did not keep score of it. I did not bring it up. I did not remind that person of it. I just moved on. And they remembered it for 2 years. And we're still talking about it. And that is exactly the energy I am picking up for you today. You are being talked about, highly, by people you might not even expect. Things you probably do not even think about anymore. Those things are living in other people's memories, and they are coming out of people's mouths as praise, as admiration, as have you heard about so-and-so? And someone out there is absolutely losing their entire mind about it because they tried so hard to make the narrative about you go a different direction, and it just is not going that way. Let me get into these cards. Spirit has been waiting on me. Queen of Cups reversed, someone around you is emotionally unraveling. Queen of Cups reversed comes out first. And immediately, I am feeling this energy around you, and she is not doing okay. She is not. And I do not mean that in a pitying way. I mean, she is emotionally all over the place. And the reason is you. Your situation. What is happening in your life right now? It is affecting her in a way she did not see coming. Tell me about this Queen of Cups reversed. The Queen of Cups upright is this intuitive, emotionally intelligent, steady woman. She has got it together. She feels deeply, but she manages it gracefully. Reversed, though? Reversed, she is flooded. She cannot regulate what she is feeling. The emotions are running her instead of the other way around. And Spirit is showing me that this person had a whole story written in her head about you. A whole narrative. And that narrative required you to be a certain version of yourself, smaller, less certain, more easily destabilized. And you just are not cooperating with that story anymore. And that is driving her absolutely up a wall. Practical example of this energy in real life. Picture a woman. Let us call her Tanya. Tanya and a coworker had this unspoken rivalry for years. Not declared, never openly acknowledged, but everybody in the office knew it existed. Tanya was always the one who got the most attention, the most praise, the most visibility. And her coworker, you, in this scenario, just quietly kept doing the work. Did not compete, did not scramble for the spotlight, just delivered consistently, over and over again. And then one day, the department head calls a team meeting and starts publicly recognizing your coworker, their recent project. The feedback from clients, the results they produced, going on and on about it in front of everyone. And Tanya is sitting there, smiling, because Tanya has to smile. But inside, Tanya is completely imploding. Because she had spent so much energy being better than this person, staying ahead, managing perception, and the scoreboard just changed publicly and she did not get a vote. That is your Queen of Cups reversed. That is who is around you right now. Someone who cannot manage the emotional fallout of watching you receive exactly what they thought should be theirs or what they hoped you would never have. Why is she reversed and not just difficult? Because reversed means the cup is tipped. Whatever she was holding, whatever composure she had been maintaining, it is spilling. People around her can see it. She is not hiding this as well as she thinks she is. Ace of Cups, someone wants to offer you something real. Wait. The Ace of Cups just came out, and this is a completely different energy from that queen. This is fresh. This is genuine. This is someone who has feelings for you, real ones, and they are getting ready to do something about it. The Ace of Cups is a new emotional beginning. It is the first breath of something that has the potential to become very meaningful. And what I love about this card is that it is an offering. The cup is being extended outward. It is not clutched. It is not hidden. It is being held out. Someone wants to give you something emotionally, and they are working up the nerve to do it. Tell me more about this Ace of Cups. Who is this? I am picking up someone who has been holding this in for longer than they should have. They have had feelings for you, admiration, attraction, something deeper, and they kept talking themselves out of expressing it. Maybe they thought you were out of their league. Maybe they were in a situation that made it complicated. Maybe they just kept thinking, not yet, the timing is not right. But Spirit is saying the ace shows up when the energy is finally at a tipping point. They are done waiting. Something shifted. Something made them decide that not saying anything is worse than the risk of saying something. Real life example for this. Think about a guy, let us call him Marcus, who has been in your orbit for maybe 8-9 months. Not super close, but there, consistently, the one who always notices things, remembers the small details you mention in passing, has always had something specific to say to you, not just generic small talk. And you may have noticed it, or maybe you chalked it up to him just being friendly. But Marcus has been having internal debates about this for months, talking himself into it, then out of it, then back in again. The Ace of Cups says Marcus has made up his mind. Something clicked. Maybe he saw something recently, heard something, noticed something about how you carry yourself, and it moved him past the hesitation point. He is ready. He is extending the cup. Whether or not you take it, that is your choice, and Spirit is not pushing you either way. But the offer is real, and it is coming. Could also be a reconciliation energy for some of you, someone from the past who wants to come back with a genuinely new emotional offer. Not the same old thing with a different bow on it. An actual cup that has been cleaned out and refilled with something cleaner. Queen of Wands reversed, a second difficult energy. A&D, she is watching you. We have got two queens reversed, and they are both showing up in your space. And honestly, one might be enough, but no, Spirit is saying you have got two difficult female energies around you simultaneously. The Queen of Wands reversed is a whole different flavor of trouble, though. The Queen of Wands upright is fierce. She is magnetic. She is charismatic. She walks into rooms and commands them. She is the woman everyone watches. Reversed, though, that fire turns inward and it burns. She becomes competitive in an ugly way. Spiteful, she is still watching the room, but now she is watching to see who is getting the attention she thinks should be hers. And right now, that person is you. Tell me about this Queen of Wands reversed. What is her deal? She wanted to be the one being talked about. She wanted to be the one getting the praise, the admiration, the nice things being said. And somehow, in her mind, in her story, you getting those things means she is losing them. Like there is only so much good energy available, and every kind word that goes your way is being subtracted from her account. Here's the thing about competitive energy like this: it is always more exhausting for the person carrying it than for the target. You are just living your life. You are just doing what you do. You are not thinking about her, not tracking her, not managing yourself in relation to her in any particular way. Meanwhile, she is spending enormous amounts of energy studying your moves, watching your interactions, calculating, comparing. She is running a full operation, and you do not even know you are in it half the time. Practical example: this energy shows up so clearly in creative or public spaces. Say you are someone who creates content, or who is active in a community, or who has built any kind of visible presence. And there is another person in that same space who considers themselves the authority, the main character, the one with the most influence. They have worked for years to build that position. And then you start growing. Not because you targeted them, not because you set out to compete, you just kept putting out good work. And the attention started coming your way, and it did not stop. And this Queen of Wands reversed type, she is not going to say anything directly to your face. That is not her style. But behind the scenes, she is doing everything she can to slow your momentum. Talking to the right people, subtle undermining, strategic positioning. And none of it is working. And that is making it worse. Why reversed specifically? Because her own fire is eating her up from the inside. The Queen of Wands reversed self-sabotages. Her behavior, if she is not careful, is going to cost her things that have nothing to do with you. She is creating collateral damage in her own life, chasing a problem that exists mostly in her own head. 9 of Cups UARE in your satisfaction era, and it is showing 9 of Cups just landed, and I actually smiled because this card is called the Wish card, the card of emotional fulfillment, of getting exactly what you wanted and knowing it. And the figure in this card is just sitting there. Comfortable, content, arms crossed, cups lined up behind them like trophies. This is not showing off energy. This is just settled, satisfied, genuinely doing well energy. And here is why this card is so significant in the context of this reading. The 2 queens reversed that difficult energy around you. The thing that is driving them most crazy is not something you did. It is how you feel. It is the fact that you seem fine, better than fine, actually. Like something inside you has landed in a place of real contentment, and it is radiating off you whether you are trying to project it or not. And people who are internally chaotic are magnetically repelled and attracted at the same time by people who have found their center. Tell me about this 9 of Cups energy for the person watching. You have been through a period, maybe longer than you would have liked, where you were working through some things. Getting your internal house in order, doing the kind of quiet, unglamorous inner work that nobody gives you a medal for, but that changes everything. And something recently clicked. Something settled. It is not that life is suddenly perfect or that every problem has been resolved. It is more like you stopped waiting for everything to be perfect before allowing yourself to feel okay. You gave yourself permission to be satisfied with where you are while still reaching for where you are going. Practical example of how 9 of Cups plays out in real life and why it makes certain people go nuts. Say you went through a really difficult 2 years. Lost something significant, a relationship, a job, a version of yourself you had identified with. And during that time, some people around you, including this person who is now going nuts, got used to seeing you in that lower state. And whether they consciously registered it or not, your struggle made them comfortable. Your uncertainty made them feel more certain about themselves. Your difficulty gave them context to feel better. And then you got yourself together. Not loudly, not with a big announcement. You just quietly climbed out of the hole and started walking. And now here you are, 9 of Cups, looking settled and satisfied and like somebody who figured it out. And the people who got comfortable with you being in that hole, they are not sure what to do with this version of you. Because this version disrupts the story they had filed away about who you were. That contentment is not something they can take from you. It is internal. It is yours. And it shows. Drop a in the comments if you feel like you are finally in your 9 of Cups era, like you have come through something and you are genuinely landing in a new level of peace and satisfaction. I want to know. Drop it below. High Priestess reversed the truth. They ARE refusing to accept. High Priestess reversed is here. And this one is giving me information specifically about what is happening in the minds of the people around you, particularly these queens reversed when it comes to the truth about you. The High Priestess upright is truth, deep knowing, the things that exist beneath the surface. She knows things. She holds things. She does not reveal everything at once, but what she holds is real. Reversed, though, she is a symbol of willful denial. Of someone who has access to the truth, who on some level knows the truth, but is choosing not to accept it because the truth does not fit the narrative they have constructed. Tell me what truth is being denied here. What is this High Priestess reversed protecting? The truth that they cannot accept is that you are genuinely good, not performing good, not strategically good, actually good. That the things being said about you, the praise, the admiration, the high regard people have for you are not manufactured, are not the result of a campaign you are running, are not based on an image that will eventually crack. They are just real reflection of who you actually are and how you actually show up. And that truth is unbearable to someone who has invested significant energy in the belief that you must be flawed in some hidden way that has not been discovered yet. Because if you are genuinely this good, if there is no scandal, no dirt, no dark secret that explains away your success and your positive reputation, then they have to reckon with the possibility that the gap between where you are and where they are is just them, their choices, their character, their approach. Practical example. Think about 2 people who came up in the same environment, same school, same social circle, same starting point. One of them consistently made choices that built trust with people. Not flashy choices, just reliable, honest, character-based choices over time. The other one cut corners when it was convenient, said things behind people's backs, made decisions based on self-interest, and dressed them up as something else. And for years, from the outside, they seemed equally successful. Similar positions. Similar lifestyles. Maybe the less honest one even appeared to be ahead in certain ways. But then time passes, and reputations solidify. And the person who built trust finds themselves being genuinely celebrated, and the person who did not starts to notice that the energy around them is different, that the compliments feel more obligatory, that people are not talking about them the same way, and they cannot fully understand why. So they look outward for an explanation, and what they find is you being genuinely praised, genuinely admired, and the High Priestess reversed shows up because they refuse to accept what that actually means. You cannot fake a decade of character, and you did not have to. King of Swords, the way people talk about you, is authoritative. Factual, definitive. King of Swords just appeared. And this is fascinating Because the King of Swords is the energy of clear, authoritative, precise communication. He does not gossip. He does not speak in whispers. He states things as fact. And Spirit is showing me that this is the energy of how people are speaking about you in rooms you are not in. Definitively, clearly, like it is just established fact. Not, oh, I think she is pretty great. Not, from what I have seen, he seems solid. No, this is let me tell you about this person energy. This is someone who has watched you, gathered evidence, formed a clear and informed opinion, and is stating it with conviction. And when the King of Swords speaks, people listen, because he only speaks when he has something worth saying. Tell me more about this King of Swords energy and who is speaking this way about you. This feels like someone who is maybe above you in some hierarchy, a mentor, a senior person in your field or community, someone whose opinion carries weight with the people they know. And they have been paying attention to you. Maybe you did not realize just how much, but they have formed a very clear picture and they are sharing it freely with the right people, in the right rooms. Practical example, and this one is particularly satisfying. Imagine you work in a creative or professional environment, and there has been this consistent, quiet question about your capabilities. Not a loud attack, just a low-level ambient doubt cultivated by someone who does not want you succeeding. Little things, comments here and there, nothing you could directly address because it was never direct, just this fog of mild uncertainty around your name. And then a senior person, someone people actually respect and listen to, has a conversation where your name comes up. And this person, this King of Swords energy, just sets the record straight. Not emotionally, not defensively on your behalf, just factually. They describe what they have seen, what you delivered, how you handled yourself under pressure, the specific situation where you impressed them. And because they speak with that King of Swords authority, the people listening update their files on you instantly. The fog clears. And the person who cultivated that fog has to watch it clear and know they had nothing to do with it. That is what is happening for you right now. Authoritative voices are speaking your name favorably, and it is landing with weight. Ace of Wands, a new chapter is igniting for you. A and D, it is visible. Ace of Wands just came flying out, and I love this card in this position because this is the spark, the creative fire, the beginning of something that is going to move fast and go far. The Ace of Wands is not a quiet beginning. It is an ignition. It is a torch being lit. And it is visible. People can see this spark in you. And that visibility is exactly what is stoking the situation with the people who are going nuts. Tell me about what is starting for you with this Ace of Wands. Something new is beginning. And I do not just mean a new project or a new chapter, though it might be both of those things. I mean there is a new quality in your energy. A new clarity about what you want and where you are going. A new willingness to move without waiting for permission. And that quality is radiating. It is readable on you, even if you have not announced anything, even if you have not made a big move yet. People can feel when someone has made a decision at the soul level. And you have made one. Something clicked, and now you are moving. Practical example of Ace of Wands showing up in real life in this exact way. Think about someone who spent a long time being undecided. Not necessarily about anything external, just internally hovering, not fully committed to a direction, waiting for something to feel certain before they pushed forward. And the people around them, some supportive, some not, got used to that hovering energy. got comfortable predicting that the person would continue to hover. Especially the ones who benefited from the hovering, because someone hovering is someone who can be influenced, directed, kept in place. And then one morning, that person wakes up and something is just different. They are decided. They do not announce it loudly. They do not post about it or tell everyone. They just start moving. And the energy shift is palpable to everyone around them, including and especially the ones who liked them undecided. Because a decided person is a person who cannot be redirected by someone else's agenda anymore. And that is threatening to the wrong people and electrifying to the right ones. Your Ace of Wands is saying you are in that decided phase. The fire is lit. Watch what it illuminates. Ace of Swords, the truth is cutting through a end. It cannot be stopped. We are getting multiple aces in this reading, and let me tell you, multiple aces is not an accident. This is spirit being extremely deliberate about making sure you hear this new beginnings are stacking for you. And this one, the Ace of Swords, is specifically about truth. Clarity, a mental breakthrough. The kind of realization that once you have it, you cannot unhave it. The Ace of Swords is a sword piercing through clouds, truth cutting through confusion. And in this reading, it is pointing in two directions simultaneously, truth breaking through for you and truth breaking through about you. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. What truth is cutting through? For you personally, something you have been trying to figure out, trying to see clearly, has become clear. Maybe it is a situation you could not quite read before. Maybe it is a person whose intentions you were uncertain about. Maybe it is a question about your own path that felt murky. The Ace of Swords says the fog has lifted. You can see it now. And once you see it, the next steps become obvious. About you, the truth about who you are is cutting through the noise of whatever narrative was being pushed about you. And this is what is making certain people go absolutely nuts. Because they invested in the noise. They contributed to it, maybe even created it. And truth has this infuriating habit of surfacing regardless of how much noise you try to bury it in. Practical example. Imagine a situation where someone has been quietly, persistently telling a story about you. Not aggressively, not obviously, just consistently planting seeds of doubt with specific people. Maybe telling one person that you are not as trustworthy as you seem. Telling another that something about your success has a questionable explanation. Just a slow, consistent campaign designed to create a certain impression. And then one day, something happens that makes the actual truth undeniable. Maybe you deliver results that speak for themselves. Maybe someone with direct knowledge of the situation publicly sets the record straight. Maybe the person running the narrative makes a mistake and says something that is too obviously untrue, and it cracks the foundation of everything else they have been saying. Sword through clouds. Ace of Swords. The truth emerges and it cannot be put back. And the person who invested in the false story has to sit in the aftermath of that. Watching their narrative dissolve. Watching the truth take over the conversation. With nothing they can do about it. That is your Ace of Swords. Truth wins. It always wins. It just needs time. The sun, UARE, in your glow AND people cannot look away the sun. I mean, come on. The sun just came out in this reading and I am yes. Yes, this is exactly what I was feeling from the beginning of this reading, and the sun just confirmed everything. The sun is joy. Radiance, visibility, success that is warm and undeniable and unspinnable. You cannot twist the sun into something negative. You cannot find a dark interpretation. It is literally the sun. Light everywhere, nothing hidden, everything illuminated, and you are walking in it right now. Why is the sun here? What is Spirit wanting me to see about you in this moment? You are glowing. And I mean that in the most literal, energetic sense. There is something happening with your light right now, your visibility, the way people perceive you, the quality of the attention you are attracting that is at a level you may not even fully recognize yet from the inside. Because from the inside, you might just feel like yourself. You might just feel like you are doing what you do. But from the outside, people are seeing something radiant, something that makes them want to look, want to be near, want to talk about. Practical example of the sun energy in a social or professional context. You know that person who walks into a networking event or a gathering, and within 20 minutes, somehow everyone in the room has talked to them or is aware of them? Not because they are trying to work the room, not because they are performing, just because there is something about their energy that naturally pulls people in. They are engaged with whoever they are talking to, they are genuinely present, they laugh easily, they ask good questions, they remember things. And at the end of the night, people are leaving thinking, who was that? That is sun energy. And that is what you are putting out right now, whether you are consciously cultivating it or not. Your natural state in this season is magnetic. And the people who want to be in your orbit are moving toward you. And the person going nuts, they are watching the orbit form around you, and they can do absolutely nothing to interrupt it. Because you cannot compete with the sun. You cannot argue with natural light. The sun also brings a specific message for some of you about a public moment coming, something that makes your positive reputation even more visible. A recognition, a feature, a moment where your name gets elevated in some community or space. It is coming. Let it. Wheel of Fortune things, ARE, turning in your favor, AND timing, is everything Wheel of Fortune just came through, and I need you to understand something about this card, because people sometimes read it as neutral, as just change, as things cycling. But in this reading, in this context, in combination with everything else that has come out, the wheel turning for you is good news, great news, full stop. The Wheel of Fortune is cosmic timing. It is cycles completing. It is the universe saying it is your turn. And there is something about the timing of what is happening right now, this person who wants to talk, the high regard being spoken about you, the someone going nuts, all of it is happening at a specific moment for a reason. This is not random. This is the wheel clicking into a new position. Tell me about what has changed in timing around you. Why now? Because you are ready now in a way you were not before. The wheel does not turn for people who are not prepared to receive what comes with the turn. And the inner work you did, the settling, the clarity, the deciding that prepared you for what the wheel is delivering. You did not just get lucky. You got ready. And then the right moment arrived. Practical example of Wheel of Fortune timing that everyone watching is going to relate to on some level. Think about someone who had been working towards something for a long time, applying for things, putting out their work, trying to get through certain doors, feeling like the effort was not producing results at the rate they expected. And people around them, including the person going nuts in this reading, started to wonder if maybe this person was just not going to get there. Maybe they had overestimated their own potential. Maybe the window had closed. And then something shifts. Not because the person did something dramatically different, but because the wheel turned. Because the right person saw their work at the right moment. Because a door that had been closed for years suddenly cracked open, and they were right there, ready, prepared, positioned, and the response was enormous. And the people who had quietly written them off had to update their entire assessment overnight. That is the wheel. That is cosmic timing doing what cosmic timing does. Your turn is here. Whatever has been building, whatever you have been working toward, whatever doors you have been standing in front of something, is turning. Something is changing in your favor. Pay attention to what shifts in the next cycle because the wheel is moving. Seven of Swords, someone is trying to steal your position and they cannot. Seven of Swords just landed and I see you. I see you, Seven of Swords. I know what you are doing in this reading. Someone is trying to take what is yours. Not openly, that is not the Seven of Swords energy. This is the sneaky approach. The trying to slip past the guards. The attempting to accumulate what you have built without doing the building. Tell me who this Seven of Swords belongs to. This belongs to someone who has been watching your position in a workplace, a social space, a creative community, a relationship dynamic, does not matter where, and has been taking notes. They want what you have built. The reputation, the relationships, the respect, the recognition, and they have been making quiet moves to try and get into that territory without you noticing. Could be someone pitching themselves to people in your circle. Could be someone positioning themselves as a better option in the same space you occupy. Could be someone quietly undermining your work while presenting themselves as a superior alternative. Practical example, and this one is so real. Imagine you have a colleague, let us call him Trevor, and Trevor has noticed that you have a really strong relationship with a key client, a key mentor, a key person in your network, someone who really matters. And Trevor has started inserting himself into conversations with that person, name-dropping shared connections, finding ways to become visible to them without actually earning the kind of relationship you built through genuine effort over time. And at first it works a little. The person gives Trevor some attention because Trevor is persistent and presentable. But here is what the Seven of Swords always misses: relationships built on substance cannot be replicated by someone who lacks the substance. The key person eventually notices the difference between deep engagement and strategic charm. And when they do, your position is not diminished, it is actually reinforced by comparison. Because now they have a reference point. They have seen Trevor. And Trevor is not you. Your position is safe. The Seven of Swords person is exhausting themselves running a game that cannot succeed against someone with your actual foundation. Messages from Spirit, what else is coming through for you? Spirit has several more things they want to drop in, and I need to bring them through because they came in strongly. First, someone is getting ready to make contact. And I want to be specific here because Spirit was very specific with me. This is not a casual reach out. This is someone who has been thinking about reaching out for a while, who has been rehearsing what they are going to say, who has probably typed and deleted more than once. They are getting ready to actually do it this time. When it comes, you will know it is the one Spirit was talking about because it is going to feel significant. Not random. Second message, you are being protected from something you cannot fully see right now. There is an attempt, something being planned or already in motion by the person going nuts in this reading, and it is not landing. It is being deflected at a level that is above what your own actions are producing. Your spirit team, your guides, whoever is working on your behalf in the non-physical, they are actively interfering with things designed to harm you. I hear the word buffer. Like there is a buffer around you right now that is softening and redirecting anything intended to hit you hard. Third, Spirit is saying you have more support in your corner than you realize. Some of the people who have been quiet, not commenting, not publicly visible in their support of you, are quietly but firmly in your corner. They are not speaking up in public forums, but in private conversations, they are saying the right things about you to the right people. Do not mistake quiet for neutral. Some of the most important advocates you have are the quiet ones. Fourth thing coming through watch, who shows up asking questions they have no business asking right now. Someone connected to the person going nuts may approach you with questions that seem friendly or curious, but are actually fishing expeditions. They are trying to collect information to take back. Spirit says, be warm, be yourself, and be very discerning about what you actually share. Not everything needs an answer. Some questions can be met with a smile and a subject change. Fifth in this feels really important for a specific portion of you watching the situation you have been worried about, the one that has been taking up residence in your nervous system, the thing you keep running through your head trying to figure out how it is going to resolve. Spirit says it resolves in your favor. Not maybe, not probably, in your favor. The timeline is not one I can give you exactly, but the outcome is not up for debate from where Spirit is standing. Breathe. Sixth, someone has already started talking. As in the conversation about reaching out to you, the intention to reconnect, the gathering of courage to approach it, has already started happening internally for this person. It is not hypothetical future energy. It is happening now. In their head, in their heart, in their plan. The contact that this reading's title is pointing to it is in motion. You are about to hear from them or about them very soon. Extra Spirit drop. Before I sign off, I was literally about to end, and then Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and said, not yet. There are a few more people in this collective who need to hear something specific, and I am not closing this out until I say it. For some of you watching, the person who wants to talk is not someone you expected. You have been anticipating a specific person, probably the one who has been the most prominent in your thoughts, the one whose silence has been the loudest. And Spirit is not saying that person is not coming. They might be. But the first contact, the one that breaks the ice, might come from someone adjacent to that situation. A mutual connection. Someone on the periphery of the thing you are focused on. And that contact is going to feel like a breadcrumb. Like the universe dropping a first clue in a trail that leads somewhere much bigger. Pay attention to unexpected messages in the next 2 to 3 weeks, not just the ones that fit your current narrative of who should be reaching out. The one that comes out of nowhere, the name you were not expecting to see light up on your phone, the message in a place you did not anticipate that might be the first domino. Also, for those of you who have been holding back from speaking your own truth about a situation, Spirit is saying your silence has served its purpose. There is a time for strategic quiet, and there is a time when your voice is the thing that breaks something open in your favor. And for a portion of you, that time is right now or very soon. Not to argue, not to defend yourself aggressively, but to calmly and clearly state what is true. Like the King of Swords would, with authority, with precision, with zero emotional wobble. Just the facts, just the truth, stated clearly and let it land. Because here is what Spirit showed me at the very end of this reading. The person going nuts, part of what is driving them craziest is not just that people speak well of you, it is that you seem unbothered. That they cannot rattle you, that no matter what they try to inject into the situation, you come back around to this settled, stable, 9 of Cups contentment. And nothing is more threatening to someone trying to destabilize you than watching their efforts bounce off like they never landed. Stay settled. Stay in your 9 of Cups. Let them watch. Let them talk. Let them search. They will not find what they are looking for because what they are looking for does not exist. You are genuinely who people say you are, and that is the most powerful thing you can be. One last thing, and I mean it this time. Someone who admires you has been thinking about telling you. Not just the person with the Ace of Cups, though it could overlap. A separate person who has quietly respected something about you for longer than you know. They almost told you once and chickened out. They are circling back around to the moment where they could say it. And when they finally do, I want you to receive it fully. Do not deflect it. Do not minimize it. Do not immediately redirect the compliment back at them. Just receive it. Say thank you. Let it land. Because you earned it. And you deserve to let it in. Let me just sit here for a second before I close, because Spirit is still giving me things, and I want to honor that. What I want you to leave this reading with is this. The two things happening simultaneously in your life right now, someone wanting to reach out and communicate something meaningful to you, and someone else losing their mind, watching how highly you are, regarded those two things are not coincidences happening side by side. They are the same story told from two different angles. The story is, you are someone worth talking about, worth reaching out to, worth the effort, the risk, the vulnerability, the courage it takes to make contact, and worth the envy, the obsession, the endless, futile searching of someone who cannot find anything bad to say. Both of those realities reflect the same core truth about who you are. You built something. Not perfectly, not without difficulty, not without moments of doubt. But you built something real, something that can be talked about warmly years later. Something that attracts genuine admiration and simultaneously attracts the kind of attention that only comes to people worth paying attention to. Even the person going nuts is confirming your value. They do not waste energy like this on people who do not matter. Move through your week knowing that your name is in good hands out there, that the conversations happening about you are more positive than you know, that the person who wants to reach out is almost there, and that the person going nuts, they are going to deal with whatever they have created by going nuts, on their own, without you having to do a thing about it. Karma is not your department. Let the universe handle that part. You just keep doing what you are doing. Keep showing up the way you have been showing up. Keep building what you are building. Keep being the kind of person whose name, spoken in a room you are not in, makes people say good things. That is the goal. That is the whole goal. And you are already doing it.